I would listen to car salesmen before I'd listen to half these coaches I'm seeing right now today on social media.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some real,
and
I'm going to call it the way it is. There's some real fake frauds out there.
Yeah.
Hey friends, welcome back to Do Epic Shit. Real talk, real estate, real life. I'm Colleen Basinski.
And I'm Kim Neal. And today we're diving into something that's been bubbling for a while. The coaching world.
Yep.
This will be good.
It's going to be a good one. Whether you're a brand new agent, a seasoned broker, or a leader building a team, chances are you've seen a flood of experts popping up online lately.
Some are amazing, some are not.
Yeah, you can say that again. So we're asking the question, coaching or conning? The truth about credibility in mentorship. What makes a great coach? How you can tell who's the real deal and who's just performing.
Ooh, well, we've both been coached. We've coached others, and we've seen it all. From life-changing mentors to full-blown frauds.
Oh gosh, yeah, we've seen some frauds.
Lots of them.
You know, we're going to dig in deep on this one because I've got some stuff to say.
Yeah, me too.
I think we both have some opinions.
Me too.
Buckle up. This one's going to be a little spicy,
Woohoo.
a little honest, and totally worth it. I've got some notes here so we make sure we get all the goodies. I don't want to miss any goodies.
You got some good ones. And some been popping up lately. I feel like we've been seeing more and more.
Well, and some of the ones now are like triggering me to remember some of the past
Me too.
ones. And I'm like, So here's a real story. So a guy we used to work with once decided that his buyer's agent, who was still pretty green and figuring it out, should be our coach. I say our like it's mine. I wasn't actually selling, but it was yours and a few other agents. But she should be the coach for a group of y'all.
Yeah. For the whole office.
Yeah.
So she'd only closed a few deals, handled some Zillow leads. She was still early in her career. Loved the agent, good person. But suddenly she's supposed to be coaching us on conversion and mindset. I think I looked at you. I think I looked at Kristen and was like, hell no.
Yeah, you did. I think you exactly said, oh, hell
I did.
no.
Yeah. Right?
And nothing against her.
Absolutely.
She was smart and learning fast.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
she hadn't lived through enough of it yet to start teaching it.
You bet.
I think that's not coaching. That's like putting the cart before the horse. Like, I think people want to be, they get a few things under their belt and all of a sudden they want to write a book, they want to be a coach, they want to be a trainer.
I feel like the coach and trainer that's what nobody wants to work anymore.
I think they think it's like the easy way out or something.
Absolutely. I'm going to be a trainer. I'm going to be the coach. I'm going to get this certificate and then I'm going to fly around the world and coach. It's like, wait, what? And then you go in and you look and they have one house that they sold or 4. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And I think that's, a few instances like that, we realized not everyone who calls themselves as a coach is actually one. I remember I was on a trip. I was in Texas actually, because we used to go to Texas for training a lot. And I distinctly remember being on a bus. We might have been carting from one venue to another for something. And this guy's just spewing all these ideas and there's these people, they're like hanging on there. And how do you do that? And I'm like a trust but verify kind of person. I wanna know, like, you sound good, but have you actually walked the walk?
Sure.
Right? So I go back and I look up his numbers. And this was leadership coaching. This wasn't sales coaching on this particular guy.
Sure.
He hadn't recruited anybody. He'd only been like a team leader for like a couple of months, and he like everyone's looking at him like he's the expert, like he's the coach, and I'm like, what? And so I think that was a key moment for me where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna look stuff up. Now I will give some grace in terms of, not all production shows up on the, like we have Market Viewer and Broker Metrics and all those reports. Not all production shows up on there. If you're doing a lot of new construction, you're doing off-market deals or whatever.
You're licensed somewhere else.
Like I'm in 3 states. You can pull my Broker Metrics. You're not going to pull all my production.
Sure.
Some of my stuff's under Bart. Some's under me. Like all my stuff's not going to come up under me. So I give some grace where that's at. But if you got one deal showing up there or repeated over a cycle of years.
I was just going to say that. We could all have a bad year. Maybe something happened, take some time off, and you've got 5 deals. But it's year after year after year. And they've only been doing it for 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, mind blowing.
Completely. Because not everyone who can talk about success has actually done it.
And I think, and I get it, like maybe some people are good at teaching or, maybe explaining, but I feel in this business, when I come in here and I'm like, oh my God, the lender just told me blah, 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 blah. If you're not versed in what I'm talking about, what are you going to do? Just...
Well, and we're going to get into this a little bit, and I think there's going to be people out there that are going to say, well, coaching is different than training or teaching or your broker for questions. And I'm still going to push back on that because I think this industry is so niche that you still need to have some time in the trenches. And some, not just time in the trenches where you haven't done anything, but you have to have some at-bats under your belt.
Exactly. I agree.
And coaching isn't just hype and high fives. It's not a pep rally. It's accountability. It's truth and growth.
I've had coaches who told me things that I didn't want to hear. And that's actually what changed me.
Well, good coaching.
Yeah.
Good coaching stretches you. Bad coaching just tells you what you want to hear, sells you validation, puts you up on a pedestal, and makes you feel good about yourself. A great coach isn't your hype girl. They're your mirror. And that's the whole theme today, coaching or conning. The truth and credibility in mentorship, because it's time we separate the real ones from the loud ones. I love that you said it that way, though, the real ones from the loud ones, because there are people that just toot their own horn, and social media has done a really good job of masking that, where people put their, and there's nothing wrong with building your brand and building your advertising, your image,
Sure.
But there's a difference between building your brand and being a fraud.
Yeah, I'm just going over the things in my head and the people that I'm watching and seeing, and yeah, it's a lot. You know what's wild?
What?
There are people out there coaching top producers who've sold, 2 homes, 4 homes?
Right? Oh my gosh. We talk about this all the time. And listen, I'm not saying
All
you
the time.
have to sell 500 homes to be credible. But if you've never actually lived the grind, how do you lead someone through it?
Exactly. Coaching isn't just asking questions. It's pattern recognitions. And you can't recognize patterns if you never lived through them. And that's what we just said.
Oh, so true. I will say also, true mentorship blends both experience and empathy. There's a difference between book smart and battle tested.
Absolutely. I truly believe that. It's hard for me to grasp and listen to someone. Not that I don't think you're a good teacher, or I feel like in order to be relatable, we have to know the same things or at least connect and relate. I feel like a lot of them don't.
I heard this once. The best coaches have earned scars, not just certifications.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect, actually.
Coaching without credibility is just performance. You can't lead people through a storm if you've never been rained on.
That's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole question we're going to ask today. Can you coach what you've never done? If you've never walked the path, how can you guide someone down it? So I have a question for you, Kim.
Okay.
What's the first red flag that tells you that a coach isn't qualified?
How raw do we want to get?
Get raw, girl. Get raw. Even on our merch, it says, do epic shit, real and raw.
Yeah. For me, and I can speak for me, it's production. I want to know what they did. What is their history?
Yeah.
What is their history? Please tell me what you've done, where you come from.
And I will say for me, production doesn't necessarily need to be 100% in that exact field. It could be in a parallel lane, but it needs to be there. Okay, so you haven't sold 100 homes, but were you in mortgage and you did 100 mortgages? Or I would listen to someone coach me on that, because it's a parallel lane, right? I think that there's very similar paths in an industry, or even in maybe if you sold 100 cars, you could sell me 100 homes. I don't know. there's a little bit different because that's where you have customers coming into your store versus we have to go out and
Sure.
get the customers. So I don't know, maybe if you're going door-to-door sales or doing some other type of sales like that.
I would listen to somebody who said, I sold 500 cars and I'm the,
So they know how to close.
absolutely.
So-
they know the sales terminology. They know.
They know the life cycle of a sale.
Absolutely. I would listen to car salesmen before I'd listen to half these coaches I'm seeing right now today on social media.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's some real,
And
I'm going to call it the way it is. There's some real fake frauds out there.
and half the time,
It burns my crow.
okay, you want to get real?
Yeah.
Half of them, and I'm thinking one in particular, I can't even understand what he's saying. It's like, I'm like,
Someone get chicken.
what the?
Well, yeah, because I think they're spewing out words
Yeah.
that they don't even understand the meaning of, and they're like stitching things together
Yes.
without actually understanding because they're trying to regurgitate something they read in a book or that they heard.
That's exactly what I'm listening to. And don't get me wrong, 2 minutes in and I'm done.
Glazed over tuned in.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's
I would
funny.
say though, on the flip side, so you said production is your first red flag that tells you.
so credibility, I guess.
Here's what I would caution on that. Here's my, production, absolutely. I want to know that you've done it, that you've walked the walk. But also, I want to hear the story of how you built it.
Sure.
Because, there's this saying, even a blind squirrel catches a nut once in a while, right?
Yep.
So what if that blind squirrel walked into a whole bag of nuts in a nut store and got them all,
Sure.
right? So there are people that just fumbled across what they've done, and it wasn't something that they can duplicate or they can teach someone or that
Sure.
they can tell. So there's a few people that I know that have an incredible business, but they kind of got lucky. They fell on an investor or a builder or whatever, and then they can't really explain it or articulate it or teach someone else how to do it. They talk a good talk, but are you thinking of a couple of people that
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I mean, I've coached some of these people, and when you see behind the curtain, you're like, oh boy, how did you do the business you did?
For sure.
Right? So I would say production, yes, with a caveat that it has to be something that's duplicatable or that you have to understand the psychology of how to help someone through something.
I think that's super important. So who's going to teach me to do what I do unless, you kind of know what I'm doing. I feel like for me, if you're going to hold my attention and I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to pay to go to one of your courses or one of your classes, I would hope that I can relate to you and that that we have some kind of common bond. Not that you were taught a class away in Texas and you're allowed to come home or, and go around and teach it. We need to be on the same page.
Yeah.
For me anyway.
No, I hear you.
That's how I feel.
How about the next one?
Have we ever bought into a program that sounded great? And what did we learn?
So just because they have production doesn't mean that their coaching programs are actually coaching programs. I bought this one and it was on how to onboard and get your agents off the 90-day start. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
It's because I feel like that, when you're busy, you're always looking for the shortcuts, right? So I'm like, if I could just have a program that'll help me get my new agents up and running faster and get them into production faster. And I was trying to remove myself from that process because quite frankly, it's a lot of work. And we're always looking for shortcuts. That's human nature. And I got it. I bought the program and I'm in the classes and I'm like, this thing sucks. It literally sucks. And this person had a crap ton of production and hundreds and hundreds of homes, had lots of agents on their team. And I'm like, this is garbage. I'm so glad that I didn't pay full price. This person gave me a discount on it. Because if I had paid full price, I'd have been livid. I mean, I still paid money. I've wasted money on so many things that I thought would be great coaching programs or training programs, or just because I'm a consummate learner and I'm always pouring into myself. And I'm like, okay, well, if I can learn how to do this, then I can teach someone else and I could do. But man, that one burned my butthole. Because, here I'm thinking, so then that's what actually caused me to go back and write, remember the 12-week coaching program I wrote for new agents that come on board to our team? Because after that, I'm like, no, I'm writing this myself because this is, and maybe that's the control freak in me, I don't know.
No, because it was crap.
Right?
It was crap, and we needed something.
Well, I just feel like if you're putting your trust into me and you're coming to me for your career, like this is your career, your livelihood, your family, your future, your goals, I owe it to you to give you everything I got as the coach. And I wanted to pour into these agents that were coming and joining us. That's why we didn't really recruit heavily when we first started our team either. The people that came to us were people that came to us organically. Like, they're like, hey, I want to join you. I'm like, I don't really know. And I'm like, And so I feel like now we're in a place because of how much we care and because we take it so serious, the people that, now I'm going to jump off subject again a little bit. You have to want it too, and we're going to get into that.
Yep.
Like, you have to do the work. I can't do the work for you. But I feel like we're in a place now where we've got great systems, great courses that I've written and that you've co-written with me or taught with me. And we've got a great foundation to help coach not only new agents, but also experienced agents that are kind of just like looking to take it up. Or even if they don't want to take it up, if they want to step back and have some of it work for you. Like, I feel like if you're an agent who's grinding, we can help you grind less and do the same amount of production, because that gives you balance of life back.
Look at the new agents that are following and doing.
Yeah.
It will change the trajectory of their whole entire life and family. So, I mean, we're doing something.
Yeah, I think we're doing a few things right. That's funny, because my next question is, how can newer agents earn credibility fast? Production.
By doing it.
Do the work. Follow the things your coach tells you to do. Well, first vet their coach correctly, and then get into production. And that's how you earn your credibility, by going out there and doing it. It's why I tell new agents to preview homes. You can't know what the market is until you've actually been in the market.
I agree.
Like, why should I preview homes? I can see it online. Because until you've been in houses and looked at online, you don't know the difference between.
I mean, and it's such small things too. As much as, like, if you're a new agent, you haven't been out, you haven't looked at a home. How do you even open a lockbox? I remember walking in like, oh, how do I open this?
But aren't you, because you've previewed enough homes, and I say preview, you've shown enough homes.
Sure.
So the way a new agent would do the preview is, don't you feel that you can look at pictures online and know when something's BS and when it's not, because you've been physically in enough of them? You're like, that never looks like that. That's virtually staged. That's AI. And in today's day and age, are you want to waste someone's time, or you want to get them the stuff that they need to get?
Right.
Or you can also tell when someone's taken really shitty photos, and that's something your client could still see. What's the difference between motivation and transformation?
Well, I think they go hand in hand a little bit. I think you have to be motivated to, for me anyways, in order to transform, you have to be motivated. Yeah. Because you're just not going to.
Yeah, I think the motivation starts internally. The transformation shows up externally, absolutely. But you can't have one without the other.
Right.
Which is what you just said. Yeah.
Exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth.
How do you test a coach before you trust them?
I knew you were
I'm going to ask you, because you're the skeptic.
I am such the skeptic, and I don't mean to be, but I feel like I am, because
You've been burned a few times.
Yeah, and all I got to do is see something and I'm off the rails. Just because I've heard so much shit for so many years, and then I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? But anyways, how do you test a coach before you trust them? I don't know. For me, I've burned through probably 4 or 5 in my career. You have to go if you give me just the same number. Kim, how many phone calls are you going to make? How many people are you going to visit? I can't do, I don't know.
I think what I'm hearing you say, and I know you well enough that I could probably answer this for you. So I think what I'm hearing you saying is someone who's just checking off boxes, as opposed to really listening to you and understanding you and really caring about where you're at and helping you go where you want to go.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
but a little more finesse. But it is true. That is absolutely 100% true. Just checking off the boxes and paying you thousands of dollars for you. I could do that myself.
That's not really coaching. That an accountability partner can do that.
Yeah. That's all I really needed. I mean,
I think a coach really challenges the way you think and gets you to think outside the box a little bit, and not necessarily like doing things differently, but like out of the norm of how, because we get stuck in patterns and we tend to do things away because we've done them before. Yeah. So a coach will recognize, like, if you have a pattern that's taking you down a negative path, or it's a pattern that's stopping or stunting your growth in your business or in your life or in your goals or whatever, I think they recognize those and they'll ask you questions to help you self-discover and overcome those.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what great coaching actually is, because I've lived both sides of it. I've coached leaders nationwide through one of the largest real estate coaching platforms in the world, from California to New York, Louisiana to Wisconsin, Florida to Oklahoma, and even internationally in Turkey, Canada, and Portugal. I've coached new agents to hit 6 figures in their first year. I've helped leadership teams turn losses into profits. And I've built a business that's made over 6 figures as an agent and now lead a team of doing over $1 million in income this year, and it's not even over yet. Ooh. Did you know we hit the $1 million income goal already?
No, did we?
We did.
Oh! Learned something new.
Yep. We should have a little celebration, millionaire real estate agent celebration, right?
That's pretty impressive.
I know. But here's the truth. Coaching isn't about telling people what to do. It's about leading a person on a journey of self-discovery, period. It's helping them take ownership of their goals and dreams and the path to get there. A great coach doesn't hand you the map. They sit down with you and help you draw it together, and then help you identify the pitfalls or the pit holes, or what are they called? What are the potholes? Potholes. I couldn't think of it. You know what I was thinking of, that game?
So was I. You literally, when you were saying pitfall, I was like,
do you remember that game?
Atari.
Yeah,
the pitfall guy. Yeah.
But I mean, literally, that is kind of what a coach does. They're helping you get from one end of the game to the other. And this game that we're in, it's called life, and it's our career and our families that are at stake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a great coach is with you on that journey, and they're going to help you and they're going to guide you. They're not going to do it for you, but they're going to give you the tools mentally, skill-wise. They're going to equip you with what you need in your mindset and in your skills to get through it and to get where you need to go.
Yeah, the right coach for sure. So what do you think actually makes a great coach?
A great coach asks smart questions. I mean, come on. They know your goals, your dreams, and your why. They know what's important to your kids, your family. They understand your fears. They don't motivate you. They help you tap into what already motivates you. Because you can't motivate a person. You can only tap into what they already have that motivates them, or what gets them fired up inside, and then put that out there for them to take a look at. A great coach shows up too. They listen. They hear what you're saying and what you're not saying also. Sometimes the silence speaks louder than the words.
Yeah.
They see the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and they help you build a bridge. A great coach doesn't push you, they partner with you.
And that's the difference between guidance and gaslighting.
Oh, God.
One helps you find yourself, the other tries to sell you themselves.
How many times have we seen that? And social media is just wrought, just absolutely wrought with that.
It's just, it's actually sad, because it really did take away that whole, like, one of our agents here, and this is going off a little bit,
That's okay.
called me just last week and was like, I really want to do that coaching program. I'm like, why? He's like, well, it's a different way from what I was taught back in the day. And it's really, things have changed so much in the industry. And I was like, really? Are you serious? I understood what he was saying, because, it was all checking boxes, numbers, I guess this one was exactly what he said, how to tap into yourself. It was a different, different type of coaching program.
I think though,
It might have been life coach. I don't know.
I think sometimes though, here's what I'm gonna get comfortable while I talk about this part. People don't. I think the checking boxes thing is really not the way to go. But I think sometimes they use the coach as an excuse for them not doing the work or putting in the effort or not. And sometimes they put in the hours, but they're afraid to face things like rejection or overcoming obstacles. Like, this job is not easy.
I was just going to say, when you just said about rejection, I think that brings something to mind. Like, who likes to be rejected?
Well, nobody.
Nobody. But I feel like sometimes it's just part of the process. I mean, I hate it too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want people to like me. I was just saying to Bart earlier, I'm like, nobody wants to invite me anywhere. Nobody wants to do anything with me except Kim. Thank God I have Kim. And I was just whining at him because the boys invited him to go do something boy. And I was like, oh, I didn't get invited. So, but my point is like, I felt bad. I felt rejected. I'm like, how come I wasn't invited to go do that? Yeah. So I think no one wants to be rejected. All right. But at the same time, that's how you build up the muscle memory. Mm-hmm. It's how you build the skill. It's how you get better. We just talked about this in business planning. We had business planning the other day in the office. And I made it wasn't a joke really. I was actually talking about it. We were talking about like deals that fall off or deals that don't make it to the table or, life happens. And I said, well, what's your percentage of fallout? And somebody jokingly said, 0%. I'm like, well, then you're not doing enough business. And he's like, well, blah, 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 or whatever. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, you have to build that rejection or the deals dying or the fallout or whatever into your plan because it's bound to happen. It's part of life.
Yeah, they were totally like, oh. And it was
taken aback, right?
Yeah. And it was so not what they thought it was. Like, well, nobody rejects me and I'm, I take, 9 out of 10 of my stuff. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And it was completely different.
If you never make mistakes, how do you learn?
Right. And that, I don't think until after you explained it, then it was like a light bulb moment, like, oh, I get it. Not more of a slap in the face.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't a you suck thing. And as soon as I was able to articulate and go down that path, they were like, oh. Yeah. But it was more of like, hey, this is how we learn and grow.
Sure.
And so I think a great coach is helping you along that journey. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about trainers versus coaches. Because people are going to have some things to say about that.
Where do you want to start with that one?
Well, some people are going to say, well, that's what trainers do. Trainers can travel around and teach things they've learned or studied, even if they haven't actually sold real estate. What do you have to say about that? So
let me ask you this, because you've been in all facets of it. Mm-hmm. Really, what is the difference? I mean, so you have your trainers and you have your coaches. Trainer to me is like, you're going to help me, like you said, like a memory or muscle memory or whatever. Like when I think of trainer, I think of someone who's going to sit there and they're supposed to be the hyper, the trainer,
So I'll tell you this. So I've coached people where I've been in a one-on-one coaching relationship where we get on the phone every week and we go over their goals and we see where they're at in their business and we look for the gaps. Sure. And then we figure out a way that they can overcome those gaps. And I don't tell them what they need to do. Sometimes, like, I'm going to give them a nudge, right? But other times I'm going to ask them questions because here's the thing. And I always use my husband as an example in this, right? Like if I tell him to do something, he's like, oh yeah, right, I'm going to do that. But if I ask him a question and he thinks it's his idea, he's all over that shit, right? True. And I don't think he does it just to spite me. I think it's human nature, right? Like people want to follow their own ideas more than they want someone to tell them what to do. Okay. So that's like one of the core aspects of coaching, right? So it's like helping people self-discover so that they think it's their idea so that they can go down that path. Their subconscious then is more committed to the action because it was their idea.
I gotcha.
So they take ownership of it, right? So I've been in one-on-one coaching relationships where I'm on the phone and I'm talking to people, and we see each other maybe on Zoom calls, or we get together once in a while. But then I've also traveled all over the country teaching and training courses, right? Some one-day courses, some half-day courses, some 3-day workshops. I've taught hiring, training, leading and motivating, recruiting, sales, business planning. Like, I've taught all these things, right? And I will tell you, to me, your responsibility is the same either one. And a lot of people don't feel that way. They feel like, well, a trainer can just come in, drop their knowledge, and then leave. And I feel like you're really doing a disservice to the people that are in your class when you do that, because they took the time out of their business. They took their money to spend, to invest, to be there, because they were hoping you could make an impact on them in their life in that day.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe it's not every week. But I think that in a business like real estate, it's dangerous when someone just teaches from a book instead of having been out in the field. I feel like I was 100 times better trainer when I was traveling all over, because I could talk the talk. I had walked the walk. I could share my personal stories, and I wasn't just following a script and reading off a script. When someone in the audience, in the class, would ask me a question, well, I've had this happen, or what happens here, I could speak authentically.
Sure.
And from experience, where someone who's just read out of a book, they'll look, oh, well, it doesn't say what to do in that situation here, right? And so how do you...
Like, I feel it has to come from here.
Yeah. Otherwise, why do I need to spend my money and go listen to you here to say it? I could just read the same book you read, and I can learn it myself. At least that's how I feel about it.
That's it. That's how I feel.
And I know there's people out there say, well, a coach is different than a trainer. And, a trainer transfers information, a coach transforms people, blah, blah, blah. Trainers teach you what to do. Coaches teach you how to think. Like, they'll say all that. But even great trainers in real estate should have some kind of boots on the ground credibility.
I think so.
This industry changes fast.
Mm-hmm.
Contracts, client emotions, market swings. And if you've never been in those trenches, your examples are empty.
Great.
And I will tell you that I feel like I'm 100 times better coach to our agents right now, because I've been in the field the last 2 years, than the 15 years that I was in the leadership role that I was in. And not that I wasn't a good coach to those people. I feel like I was better at coaching other leaders at that time than I was at coaching agents, because the market has shifted so dramatically. And I'm not saying like buyer's market, seller's market. I'm saying in just the way business is done, and the way people think, and the exchange of information, and all of that. And that's one of the reasons why I came to Real, because I felt that the company that I was with was stale. Mm-hmm. And they kept talking about being like an education-based and forward-based company, but they did not have a lot of young ideas in the forefront, or people, it was a good algorithm, or a combination of someone who had credibility, who had done it before, or I say people who have done it before, but then also had new, fresh ideas, and were willing to always constantly evolve and change as the market changed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the other company that I was with maybe talked that, but I didn't see it happening. I felt like every time, and Corey will say this too, that we would try to implement a new idea. We'd get in trouble for implementing a new idea in our offices. Sure. And then 6 months later, they would come out with the same idea and tell everybody to get on board with it. And I was like, what? And Corey's like, we just did that 6 months ago, and we got in trouble for it, and now they're doing it. So I don't know. I kind of went off tangent, but like I feel like that's an important part of this whole experience journey, that like why I feel so strongly how I do about coaching and training and everything else. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's room for both.
Yeah, I would say
so. Trainers educate from knowledge, coaches elevate from experience. But when you're in a business that deals with people's homes, money, and emotions, experience isn't optional. That's true.
That's totally true.
Yeah. It's the biggest, yeah,
that's foundational for sure.
I kind of got lost there for a minute.
Yeah.
Talking about, because I
went down a bunny trail.
Yeah, and not only that, like I feel like, I know we're talking about this, but you know and I don't want to say passionate, but how I think because I've spent so much money over my career, going to classes.
Well, you really invested in yourself at a high level.
I did. And then I feel like it is such a slap in the face to me when I go back and look at things now or see people that I was teaching or we're sitting, and not that they can't be good at that point, but it's like,
You know
I feel like
they're
it's
not.
a fraud.
Okay, so here's what I have. There's someone out there right now that's traveling, podcasting, selling programs about being a top producer coach, and you pull their numbers, and it's one house last year, maybe 4 the year before.
Maybe on a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time they pop up on social media, who are the two that get all riled up?
Yeah, it's
You and Bart.
Yeah, because it's infuriating.
Yeah.
All right, now what do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm just saying, knowledge without practice isn't wisdom, it's theater.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Okay.
And there is a fine line between guidance and gaslighting.
That's true.
And I feel like those people that are out there selling themselves like that are gaslighting a lot of people. And quite frankly, I think it's fraud.
Well, look what just happened last week. Somebody was called out on it and nobody responded.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to say anything about anything.
Yeah. Well, and then there's another one. I was going to say, this one really gets Bart going. I love throwing Bart under the bus and he's not even here to defend himself. But there's that national trainer who's built an entire career teaching realtors. And I swear she's maybe sold one house ever in her career.
Oh.
And every time her name comes out, Bart's like, what? He just like,
how's it happening? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Did anybody pull her numbers?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a chef and you wrote a recipe and you've never tasted it.
But you know what the crazy thing is? I don't think people know that.
Well, they don't because they just, she put up such a good, she's a marketer. Good for her.
Yeah.
Which is great. Okay, I guess you could teach people marketing. Maybe, because you marketed yourself.
Yeah.
But nothing else. And how it relates into the real world.
Yeah. Well, you should bring her in.
Yeah. I think I'll pass. All right, so here's the lightning round we're going to go through.
Oh.
I've got a good one here. So to paint the picture, this actually happens in every industry. Are you ready, Kim?
I'm ready. Let's go.
A personal trainer who's out of breath walking to the water fountain. A marriage counselor whose healthiest relationship is with their cat. A financial advisor whose credit cards are maxed out.
That's a good one.
A chef teaching souffles while setting off the smoke alarm making toast.
That's cute.
A life coach still living in their parents' basement.
Mm-hmm.
A driving instructor who's never had a license. A dentist with no teeth.
Would you walk? What if you walked in and
I did
this
actually.
is a perfect example of what we're talking about.
Okay, so I had to go to an emergency dentist. I'm totally skipping off here, but this I had to go to an emergency dentist because it was like Thanksgiving weekend and I had like a tooth crack and it was like a horrible toothache. It was like 6 years ago or something. It was Thanksgiving weekend. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so the only person I could find was this guy over here. And I could talk about him because he's not there anymore on Wolf Road in Mokina. And I walk in and he looked like something out of like a Rocky horror pictures. He had the long coat like that and his teeth were all rotten and he smelled like cigarette smoke. And it was so, but I literally had no choice because I had the worst toothache. And like I let him drill it and take it out and I never went back there. I waited like 3 months or something. But it was horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
And that's your dentist. Or the dentist.
Well, he was the only
dentist,
one that I could get that weekend because it was like holiday weekend, short notice, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. There's an example. A realtor who rents, a pilot whose only flight time is in a video game, a vegan chef teaching barbecue ribs.
Actually, every one of those sounds ridiculous. But that's what happens when people sell coaching without credibility.
Yeah, I know we were trying to be funny in some of those because it is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
But at some point, experience has to enter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So in terms of coaching styles, tough love versus nurture. Oh, how do Kim and I fit together in that? So I'm straight to the point, and Kim's more like the strategic empath.
For sure.
Together it works.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think so.
she's good at unpacking the why, and I'm already on to the how. Right?
Yeah, it's true. That's why we do work well together.
Yeah. And I think that's what good coaching is. Truth and care in the same conversation. The best coaches tell you the truth before the rest of the world does. Like, they're going to be the ones that tell you have the spinach stuck in your teeth. Right?
Ew.
Like, how when the rest of the world's just walking around pointing at you laughing, the coach is the one that's going to pull you aside and say, hey, come here.
Yeah.
You got a little spinach in your teeth? Let's
Sure.
work on that. Right? You know?
Yep, or get to work. One of the coolest parts about our forward group is that the mentorship flows both ways. Oh, this is great. Our younger agents are thriving and we learn from them daily. And that business class that we had on Tuesday showed it.
Mm-hmm.
Their numbers, what they did from last year to this year, it was great to see that.
Well, they bring new tech, fresh energy, and no ego. When they apply what we're teaching them and then they surpass our expectations, that's the goal. Like, when your mentees start surpassing you, that's when you know you did it right. So as we bring some of our younger agents in the coming weeks, this is the standard we want to show. Mentorship grounded in experience and genuine care. Not perfection, but credibility and consistency. And it's really what builds trust and creates growth. I love that you brought up that class last week. You know, some of the people that we're going to be bringing on, like, I'm going to bring Corey on as a guest.
Yep.
And I know he's going to squirm and struggle the whole time. And you know what? That's a great coach, putting you out of your comfort zone. But I mean, he's done an incredible job with his business this year. I mean, he's just literally blown.
And he is he's so coachable. He's so hungry for knowledge. And he asks everybody. It's not just one person's perspective it's everybody. What do you think? What do you think?
Both him and Katie will do over six figures this year, well over six figures this year. And I think they actually already have.
Yeah, they have.
And they still have pendings going.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're going to be.
They're well over 100.
Yeah,
over six figures.
I think they're both over 150 already.
Yeah.
So based on, if I calculate the math backwards. Yep. So they're both over those numbers, which is awesome considering when Corey set his goals when we were in business planning last year. He said, if I did 60, I'd be happy.
I remember that.
And I was like, bullshit, you'll do 60.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Katie last year did 5 transactions, and this year she'll do 20 plus.
Yep.
And they'll both be vying for, obviously we've still done more production than them because we're established and, we have our system. But I love that they're not plugging in. They're learning and listening and growing. If Katie calls me 100 times, she calls me 100 times. I don't care.
Sure.
And I'm like, this, and coaching her and guiding her through it. And I love one of the things, and I'm sure they'll talk about this when we bring them on. One of the things I love that Corey does is he goes back and listens to my recorded conversations.
I think that is so fun. What?
He's like, well, we play them.
Yeah.
And Kristen's come in for those too. So we do at least once a week, we come back and we play the phone conversations that we had so they can learn on how did I approach that conversation when the lead came in, and how did I get the appointment, and how, what do we go through that? Sure. And I'm okay being critiqued. Sometimes they're critiquing me too. I'm like, oh yeah, I really shit the bed on that one. Whatever. But that's the thing is we are coaching and mentoring them, but we're also open to improving ourselves. And I think good coaches never stop learning either.
I agree with that. Key takeaways.
Well, coaching isn't cheerleading.
Yep. Credibility matters.
And coachability multiplies it. So let's go back to that. You can have the best coach in the world, but if you're not coachable, none of it matters. Yeah.
I think we have one or two.
That's the thing. So I would say we have some that are.
But I think, and I don't mean to interrupt, but I think that's where you come in and you pull, sometimes I'm like, here she goes. It's the question after question after, let's talk about that. What do you think? And I'm like, oh, please just answer.
Just glad it wasn't you on the seat.
Just answer. Let's
go. I think there's 2 parts to that question. So before we wrap up to the key takeaways, I'm going to go backwards a little bit, and it's not in our guideline here. So that's the thing about us. It's real talk, real time. What you get, what you get. You never know what you're going to get. I think there's people that aren't coachable, You can have the best coach in the world and you're not coachable. You just think you know it all. And even if you say you don't know it all, but you act like you know it all, and you don't implement and you don't really take anything to heart that you're hearing,
Sure.
that's not coachable. So like not defensive, not stuck, just open, right? But also there's people that are coachable, but they just won't do the work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so here's the thing. Corey's in the office every day.
Sure.
If Katie's not in the office, I'm on the phone with her. She's in her home office working. I know what she's doing. She's on appointments. She's whatever. Like, I'm talking to them on the daily about like, and not like I'm on the phone coaching them daily, but we have chat groups and we have, we have different systems of accountability that we use. And I think you have to be coachable. You have to be willing to put in the work. And that combined with a great coach and a great mentor and a great system, you're unstoppable in this industry.
I agree.
Because there's not very many people out there that have the whole trifecta.
God, no.
The people who implement fast will grow fast. And the ones who just collect advice, they just kind of stay stuck.
And they have all kind of advice.
Yeah, they got really smart bookshelves, right? We always have that, you took that class 17 times.
Well, I have trophies to prove it. I mean,
the people that you've been in with it, like people that you've taken a class with 17 times and they're still stuck selling 4 houses a year.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Yeah. Sure.
What's the difference between you and them?
No.
You were coachable.
Yeah.
Even when you didn't like what I had to say,
Yeah.
you took it to heart. Sometimes I told you stuff you didn't like. Still do.
I think too, when you are in coaching or when you are the one that's being coached, you have to be open. I feel like you have to be open, because you say some stuff that
But also, you knew that I had your best interests at heart.
Absolutely, and then you could watch people's, like for me, when I was coming and learning and starting off, I would watch the other people before me. Like, look at them. Oh, they did that with that coach. Or, oh, this is what they were doing. This is what So you were able to see that and watch that.
I agree. And I'm going to add a caveat to that. I think in this day and time, that can be helpful, but it can also be dangerous because there's so much that has changed in how we do business and technology and all of the things. And I think also, so I'm just going to say this too, because we'll talk about this when Katie comes on, a great coach will also notice what your strengths are and help you tap into them. Like, Katie was incredible on social media, but she never put any real estate stuff on social media. She only put like stuff that made people laugh and this and that.
Yeah.
I probably pounded her over the head with questions and pushing and guiding her down that path for a while before she was willing to accept, and that part of her business has exploded.
I know. She's great.
Because a great coach will also know what your strengths are and tap into them. But again, like you said, a coach can't outwork your unwillingness to change. Work means nothing if you refuse to move your feet. Those are the two things. You have to be coachable and you have to be willing to do the work. So you can vet your coach all you want.
Yeah.
You could hire Tony Robbins. Or what's the guy that like Grant Cardone or any of those guys, right? Like you can hire them, but if you're not coachable and you're not willing to do the work, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was just.
You can hire me.
Yeah.
If you're not coachable and you're not willing to do the work, it doesn't matter.
Just pay me,
right? All right. Key takeaways.
Coaching isn't cheerleading.
Yep. We said that.
Coachability multiplies it.
Yep. Real coaches, real talk. That's what we're all about here. And that's what this business is all about.
This was a good one.
Yeah. So I just say be curious, be consistent, vet your coaches like you'd vet a contractor.
That's a good one.
If they've never held a hammer, they shouldn't build your foundation.
It's actually a really good one. Well, DM us your best or worst coaching story. We might feature it next time. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. I would love to hear some
stories.
I would
love to hear that too, because it can't be us. It just can't, it's got to be.
I mean, we've got a lot of good ones, but I love hearing from you guys.
I do too.
We've gotten some pretty interesting messages, so
yeah.
I'd love to expand on those. And so next time, we're going to bring on a few of our younger agents who are absolutely thriving under this model. and you'll see what real mentorship looks like in action. And you can hear from them. So if you have questions you want us to ask them or things you want us to uncover with them, like just throw it out to us and we'll ask them.
Isn't Dale in 1 or 2 years in?
Yeah, we've got some good, successful young people that are just blowing it up. Katie, Corey, Dale, Kristen. Like we've got some great, successful agents that are just killing it. And I've got a girl, Jackie, downstate that I would love to bring on. She was able to quit her 6-figure government job to go full-time in real estate. So I'd love to have her on too. So if there's questions you have specifically for these guys, we'd love to ask them live on the next session. So just DM us. And just remember, coaching isn't about being perfect. It's about being proven. And that's where real growth starts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like what you heard today, follow along, like, subscribe. We'd love to have you follow us, DM us your questions, and keep going out there and doing epic shit with us.
Woo-hoo! See you later.
Peace out.